Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of That Podcast. Enjoy the show.
If you got to be a prophet, what kind of prophet would you like to be?
One that doesn't rip down our studio.
Speaking of premium podcast, I think the first fund will need to
I've been
go
working
towards
out.
some new microphones.
Yo.
That was great. I think you got to loosen this one a little bit so you can pull it towards you.
She's a little loose.
Hey, there
Oh,
he is.
that was great.
Look at this guy.
Hey.
Hello.
Hi.
How's it going?
Are we online?
Not yet.
Very soon.
I mean,
Well, that's good. Did you hear the one? No, I got a great story to start out with. This is great. We're talking in there about fishers of men, right?
Yeah.
Took my grandsons out to Cotton Lake, all 5 of them, and for 2 of them, it was their first time fishing, period.
Really?
Yeah. So they had the oldest of the 2 was really freaked out because when his idea of ice fishing had to do with a hole in the lake about the size of this room. So that's like 12 by 14. And we're all standing over the edge, and it's like, what chance do I have to stay out of the water? Right. So when he saw the smaller holes, he goes, oh, I can do this. So that was good. Then later in the day, I asked him, how are you liking this? He says, Grandpa, ice fishing is really good. You know what the 2 best things are, Grandpa? And I said, what? Good food, because, you cook food, and you catch fish. The next one was my youngest one, this 7-year-old. He's over there. Grandpa, I caught another fish. I look over and I said, Jacob, that's your minnow. He says, well, whatever, but I've been catching a lot of it.
Hey,
I keep catching this fish.
don't diminish it.
Yeah. So anyway, I'm out of here. You guys have fun. There's a fish story.
Thanks, John.
Cute.
See you, John.
Yeah.
That's good times. Have you ever been ice fishing before?
absolutely not.
No.
No.
There's only one person I know who can walk on water.
Mm-hmm.
It ain't going to be me. No, sir.
Frozen water.
Not this year.
Oh, I don't care.
Not this year, it's not.
That's true. It's really not.
This year really brings out the old school. You got to bring your Home Depot bucket out and pop a squat and just hang out on the lake.
Because you're not driving to your house.
I mean, you
house out
could,
there.
but probably not the best idea.
No.
Yeah, there's been a lot of bad stuff.
Mm-hmm. I lived in a place that had 26 lakes, and it was considered a resort town of the Twin Cities. It was an hour west.
Okay.
And every year, I would watch these shanties get rolled out on these lakes, and they'd just be peppering it all over. And every year, someone would be like, you really got to come out and check out my ice fishing house. I'm like, well, what are you doing
castle.
there? Oh, I got everything. I got
castle.
I got a TV in there, and I got a sound stereo, and I have a grill in there. I'm cooking up stuff. I'm like, so let me get this straight. You have a house with a heater on ice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't forget, though, you also took a truck to get it out there.
And you took a truck, you drove out on a truck.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's good times. I'm like, I'm never, ever, never.
What about ice racing?
Huh?
No.
You're racing ice? Or?
In Erskine, Minnesota, they have ice racing. So it's just like racing out at West Fargo or in Grand Forks or whatever, except it's out on the lake.
Thank you.
That sounds right up there with snowmobile racing. Probably not the best idea.
Why?
People do it, but
Yeah, I got video.
of course you do.
I don't know if I still do. I might not because it came through
I've
on
heard some terrible stories
Snapchat.
about snowmobile racing.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
I'd rather do a snowmobile over
Going too fast, turn and collide, and then plop, plop, plop. There's a heavy helmet
Plop, plop, plop.
and a body
Is-
separated.
is-
Okay.
I would rather
Cut that
It
part
is.
out. It's really gross.
Ah,
Okay, anyways.
So do you ice fish?
no.
Oh.
Do you rate? I would get behind
Are
regular
we recording
fishing.
this right
Oh,
now?
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, excellent.
It's the show
oh,
before
good.
the show.
Yeah.
Yeah. I do not.
No.
I went out one time, that was it.
Okay.
But it's just
I ice skate.
I don't
But I will
regular
not,
I don't regular fish either though. I did take Eli out a few times and then he lost interest.
Mm-hmm.
But You know?
I like
That seems
fishing.
hard.
Don't get me wrong. I like actual fishing, like fly fishing though, not with like a worm.
Sure.
But ice fishing just
Yeah.
Sure, you could fly
There's
fish
something
on the
about,
ice.
like,
You just
fly
gotta have some
fishing that I
good
don't
aim
like.
and
as long as I can be on shore, right? As long as I'm not like standing on. I would be. You see all the movies. The people go out there and they're like, "Hey, having a good time on the ice," and you just get one little crack.
have you ever driven
that
out on
cracks
the
are-
like been in a car?
No.
Oh,
Not that I know of.
I've done that before. Like I've gone out to like see people who are ice fishing, and it's a little scary at first, but you get like just roll the windows
Yeah.
down.
I mean,
and
you know, there's like ice road truckers.
Well, okay, so yes, great show. Never do it ever.
If that ice is 1.5 feet thick,
yeah, you're fine.
Well, okay, I get the physics. I get the science of it. I also get the fact that when I lived in Minnesota, every year, not every other year, every year, there was at least one, if not two, as many as 5 stories about someone driving their car through the ice into the water. They would have things about if you drive your car into the lake during the wintertime and it's frozen, this is how you escape. And my answer is always the same. Just don't drive on the ice.
Well, the same could be said though. Like when I worked up in Grand Forks, without fail, the water, like the river floods every year up there.
Sure.
Every year you'll take the roundabout way to get to Blue Moose for
Don't
lunch.
do that. You just don't go to
Well,
lunch.
No, you go around
at
that
the
way.
No, you don't.
And without fail, you take the roundabout way and you see little like, oh, there's the roof of a car, there's the roof of a car, there's the
Yeah.
roof of a car.
Yeah.
yeah, you just don't.
you know what that reminded me of?
What's that?
Not a year goes by, not 1 year, that some kid doesn't get hurt on the escalator. That kid is back on the escalator.
I don't get it.
I hope his pants get caught and a bloodbath ensues.
It's from Mallrats.
No bells.
Exactly right. That's exactly how I feel. I feel like Brody from Mallrats. I think that's his name, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think so.
What movie should we start
Jason Lee,
quoting
the
that
fine
down?
actor, Jason Lee.
Earl.
You were just quoting Shrek earlier.
Yeah.
I mean, that was pretty good.
We quote that movie a lot.
And in the
trying to think
morning,
what
I'm
movie I
making
just
waffles.
Watched.
Not the buttons, not the gumdrop buttons.
Do you know the Muffin Man?
The Muffin Man?
The Muffin Man!
Are these the guys
lives down
from
on-
Jay and Silent Bob?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are these the guys?
I recognize them.
You recognize who?
Jay and Silent Bob.
Oh, sure.
Do you know their actual names?
According to Google, it's
Well-
Kevin Smith and Jason Lee.
Sure.
Well, Jason Mewes and Kevin Smith are
I wonder if
Kevin
they,
Smith is the one that named his daughter after Harley Quinn, right?
correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wonder if they ever
Ben
got their
Affleck
movie
is in
check.
that movie.
Probably not.
What?
Their movie check.
Well, if you're looking to catch up on all things DJ and Ryan's quotables, you can watch this on Starz, Hulu, and Amazon Prime
Is
if
that
you have
right?
premium subscription.
Well,
I was
there
gonna
you
say
go.
basically you have to have stars, and then you can watch
Yeah.
it on the other two.
Or if you don't want to pay for that, just ask me and I'll loan it to you for.
I got the VHS.
No.
Rewind it.
No. DVD and Blu-ray.
Wow.
Why do you have two?
Blu-ray.
Well, it comes all in one
Oh,
pack.
it was a.
Yeah. And
Okay.
digital.
Yeah,
Is there
it was
digital
during
one
the
too?
changeover time.
When they're like, "Here's the Blu-ray," but just
We
in
don't
case
know what
you
we're
ever
doing
go
either. How
anywhere
about
with
like
it.
15 options on a disc?
Do you remember when after when DVD came along, it was the greatest thing ever because before that you could get Laserdisc, which was the size of a
I never had
hubcap.
one. Yeah.
It was a
I don't know, they had to
CD
explain
that was
it to me the other day,
gigantic,
too.
and then they came along with DVD, and it was like, oh wow, a cheap quality item that you don't have to pay $100 for this gigantic Laserdisc, right? So, do you remember when Blu-ray came along? It had a competitor. Do you
It
remember
did.
the name of the competitor? There was a whole
Green Beam.
Beta?
no, yeah. So you remember Beta and VHS back in the day, but after DVD, it was HD DVD
I don't know if I
and
remember.
Blu-ray.
I don't remember that.
Yeah, and big company like Microsoft bet big on HD DVD.
Huh.
And
I
that-
vaguely remember this, but
Yes.
like,
I don't think it ever took off.
No,
I-
it didn't. Blu-ray did.
I just assume it's all those movies you got where it was like in the widescreen and then
Yeah.
you're just annoyed that
widescreen
there's
and
this much.
standard.
Yeah.
And it's one. None of you know what I'm talking about, but I just always wonder, like, so was Blu-ray better than HD DVD? Because
I think so. It's survival of the fittest. I mean, look at MySpace and Facebook.
some of it is marketing, though.
Those are different markets, though.
Yeah.
If you have like Microsoft through Xbox goes out at the same time, betting big on HD DVD, and then you had
Sony
the PlayStation going with Blu-ray. You have two big companies that are marketing exclusively to a specific type of
Consumer.
well, like a type of technology.
Oh yeah.
It's like a
And one wins out over the
Yeah.
other, not because one's necessarily better than the other.
But you also have to think that Sony, like if you think of it that way, Sony also makes the Blu-ray players.
Of course.
So then Microsoft has to give it to a third party.
Exactly. So, and it just makes me wonder, like, was I never,
and then you have
I never
Sony,
had it.
and then Samsung's like, well, whatever, we'll stick with you guys.
It's kind of like, okay, if you have a Samsung phone, I've never had a Samsung phone. I've had an iPhone because I'm a phone snob, apparently.
Yep.
But what I wonder about is, like, is Samsung
Brian, you're the only one. So
is Samsung better or worse than the iPhone?
I don't have a Samsung. I have a Google Pixel.
Well,
that's
person-
still the same market.
I like to be tracked wherever I go.
there you go. And apparently that has much more of the market share than iPhone does.
Really?
Yeah, like
Yeah.
Samsung has way more of the market share than Apple.
Samsung is the biggest market.
Okay.
They're everywhere.
Yeah.
But I'm like, I've never used one. So is it better? Is it worse? Am I using HD DVD
It
when
depends on who you
I
ask.
could
Some
have been
people are
having
very,
Blu-ray?
very passionate about that.
Do you know what sold me on this? And now I know that you can do it with the iPhone too, but you could not at the time, is swiping when you text.
Swiping when you text.
I swipe. I swipe
That
all the time. That's all I do.
You want T9 when you have a full keyboard. You want to be able to T9 it, like.
Almost, essentially. Remember when Mariah would do it?
I hear the words that she's saying, but I have
You don't know
no
what
idea.
T9 is?
No, not a clue.
Yes, you do.
So back in the day when you
I
had
do?
like a flip phone,
Yeah.
did
Yeah.
you like?
Did you
Okay, I want to say
press
can,
A
so
3
I can
times
do
to get C? Or
two,
did you,
two, 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 5, 5, 5.
What does
Or
that
would
have
you
to?
like shortcut it?
yeah. Or did you start typing and let it auto fill in what it
Yeah.
thought you were
So-
trying to
The
spell?
early age of predictive text.
Yeah.
I had a Razor for about 2 years, and I went to my high school reunion, my 10-year reunion.
That had to have been dull by then.
Yes, it was. And anyway,
I wanted one of those so bad.
I had a
when was
Razor,
little.
and I thought it was super cool.
Pink.
It was the second cell phone I ever had. And while at my reunion, I had a guy who was like a phone like salesman or something. He's like, "Why are you doing it that way?" I said, "What do you mean?" He goes, "You have a Razor. You can do this. Boop, boop, boop." And he did like all these little side things. I'm like, that was amazing. I had no idea. I had the phone for like 2 years. I had no idea you could do whatever that is that you, whatever
Yeah.
whatever
Do you
that
guys
was.
swipe?
No.
No,
Really?
no.
I have two
Do
thumbs.
you even know what I'm talking about?
I haven't a clue.
See, it like, hi, DJ.
Basically, it makes it so that you can type without actually ever taking your thumb off the
It's
screen.
it's cursive
It's-
for typing.
It's
Yeah.
for the dads who single finger text instead of using both your thumbs.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can text and drive that way.
No,
Ryan,
no, no.
we can't put that on the internet.
Text and drive anyway.
Joking. I'm joking, of course.
Calling the police.
Clearly, I'm joking.
Clearly.
Yeah, I that's what sold me. Like
The
this-
texting and driving?
No. The ability to swipe, like zip,
That's pretty cool.
instead
I
of
must
sitting
say.
here with two hands, like toot, toot, toot. No.
Or
not
you
doing-
could just figure out how to do it with
that way
one.
the arthritis evenly goes into your thumbs rather than just one.
No, that's silly.
I can't type like this.
But also,
I learned how
your
to use
guys'
all of them.
phones are bigger than mine, so.
It's because we're old.
Big
Yep.
phone.
Well, she's always had a bigger phone
Yeah.
than me. I can't stand it.
I have big hands, so I don't want a teeny like. Do you guys remember the Juke?
No.
I
It
remember
was like
the,
a
I remember
switchblade of a phone.
I remember
and a
what was it, the
iPod
chocolate?
mixed together. Oh yeah,
I remember the blueberry.
I also
I
wanted
had
that.
the Envy, and that was really
Ooh,
cool.
I had a. What was the one where it was split?
Oh, where you could
Blackberry?
flip it both
Blackberry-
ways.
No, the
or
BlackBerry
the
Pearl.
slide up. Oh, yep.
Isn't that what Obama had? Wasn't that President Obama's big thing? Was his he was all about his BlackBerry.
I have no idea.
And there's a whole thing about the Secret Service being like, Mr. President, you can't be
Oh yeah.
Then Donald Trump came along and was like, we'll just tweet all the time.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't remember that, but I remember my BlackBerry. I had an Envy.
Mm-hmm. Envies were cool.
Mm-hmm.
So then you could flip it up and it was like.
Yep, I had
full
no one to
keyboard.
talk to really, so I don't know why I needed
And
a
now
full
we're going.
keyboard.
Now we're going back to the flip phone. Evidently,
No, we're not.
I haven't seen one yet.
I haven't either.
I do miss the being able to flip it open and click it close. That's
Yeah.
just real satisfying.
I was talking
angry.
to, gosh, who was I talking today? I was talking to someone today about how I see my teenage daughter and she comes in and she's wearing pants that have like a mom waist and they're bell bottoms.
Yeah.
And then she likes to wear like a flannel
Okay.
Yeah.
and Birkenstocks.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's what everybody wore when I was in high school.
Yeah.
It's all coming back.
It's all coming back again. So it
They
took
knew how
30
cool-
Share.
They're figuring out how cool Gen X was.
It took 30 years, but I'm finally in style. So that's good. Hey, look at all those guests.
I saw a TikTok of a girl getting scene hair.
Oh no.
Mm-hmm. And I cringed deep inside.
Is that? I don't know.
It was like
If I showed you a picture of it, you would.
yeah.
You would
think of like
recognize it.
2007,
Like
2008
full emo,
MySpace,
deep.
like real short at the top and like
The really
and then
hard side part.
thin extensions
Really
at the bottom,
shaggy. It's like zebra print in there.
real far
Hold
side
on, I'll
part.
Google.
I was a new dad in 2007, 2008. I pretty much was locked into.
I was getting my eyebrows trimmed at that time
Were
already.
you?
Yeah.
Very nice.
For all of 2007, 2008?
Well,
How long were your eyebrows?
From then on.
Were you working for the city at that time?
2007. Yep.
Yep. So there's a whole block in there of just, I remember nothing. All I did was get up,
go to work.
come home.
Not the whole time.
Oh, wow. That's when?
That's like 2007, 2008.
Yeah.
Is that Avril Lavigne?
Yeah,
No.
right?
Kind of Avril Lavigne, Haley
Was-
from Paramore.
Yeah, I was gonna say Haley
That
from
look.
Paramore is the really.
Did you guys go to school with people who dress
Oh,
like
yeah.
that?
Yeah.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I went to Mayville.
You had cool parents if your parents let you put like different colors in your hair.
Boy.
I was like,
I mean, I had
whoa,
red
your parents
hair.
are
When we
wild.
were in
Oh,
school,
no.
you'd get run out of the building for that.
We had goth kids.
Yeah.
Like
This
this
was
is
the evolution of the goth
this
kid.
is before emo. This is before. I
Yeah.
mean, this was like
Wearing the
kids who would listen to The Cure. And
this is like
unbuttoned flannel shirts. With,
RXD.
Yeah, this was the goth kid evolution to like emo, and then there was like a split off.
And then there was
of,
like
a
scary
weird-
goth kids.
Yeah, there was
still.
like the scary
they
like
wore spikes and
actual
stuff.
yes, and then there were these kids that
Yeah.
were somewhere in between.
were there Twilight kids when you went to school?
Oh yeah.
Absolutely. When did Twilight come out again? Yeah,
2007, 2008.
There was like, I'm one of them.
Yeah.
Loud and proud right here.
so you know the like when the movies came out and they did all that merchandising.
Yeah.
That blue jacket she had in the first.
Oh
movie,
yeah.
they
Hollister.
had them, and they sold it at Shields, and I had it, not realizing where that jacket came
Oh.
from. And I remember someone tried to steal my jacket from me
Wow.
because it was the same one from Bella, and I was like,
just-
just get it at
Vicious.
Shields.
My friends and I made
Comes in like 3
T-shirts
colors.
for the Twilight premiere that said Team Harry Clearwater because it was like Team Edward, Team Jacob, and Harry Clearwater was the werewolf who died in the first movie.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
so we're like, this will be funny.
I thought
And
that
now
was
it's
a
Team Charlie.
play on Harry Potter.
So did I
True.
actually.
No,
Clearwater. Awesome.
He did die in the
he did. First one.
fourth
He did.
Harry Potter.
So, slushies, huh? Awesome. All right, let's try to wrap this. Get this going in.
All
a-
right.
in
What are
a
we talking
direction.
about?
Nothing.
Yeah,
Currently, we have been talking about nothing.
an episode all about nothing.
Maybe
Yeah.
one of
We have a
these
lot of those.
episodes we'll start off talking about a movie from this, like, time
This
of
decade?
Yeah, this decade at least.
Well, I wanted to bring up this topic while it's still fresh in everyone's minds because we are just recently removed from the biggest event of our age.
More in merchandising.
According to the newspaper of note, the Fargo Forum, arguably the best event in the history of the Fargo Dome.
I saw that.
Absolutely.
Yeah. FMSC, Feed My Starving Children, we hit 9.712 million meals. The last million actually coming pretty much in that last shift.
Yeah.
It was miraculous on that Sunday of just people packing like crazy. You guys were there all week.
Ryan was dying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Allegedly.
I couldn't die
You
that
were.
week. I couldn't die that week because all of my pastors were up at the dome, and I couldn't.
No pastoral care.
I didn't really plan on having my funeral among soy and rice, and I don't think
I'm
that's
dying.
FDA
Can you come and
approved.
see me? Wait until next week.
Yeah.
Hold out.
Yeah, I had to fight
They
through
were
it.
drawing straws.
I don't know what I had. I did take an at-home COVID test, and it was negative. But I had it, Eli had it, and Haley had it. Tabitha somehow dodged it.
That's because she's like, I know she's not a teacher anymore, but she worked within the circle. She was part of the
Yeah.
secret society.
Yep.
They have like a witch's brew of.
I feel like, there's a
Things.
secret, like, teacher vaccine or something that's just like, this will make sure that you survive everything.
I don't know if they make it
plague?
anymore, but my mom was a teacher for a bunch of years, and she would pop airborne
Yeah.
Oh,
Still
yeah.
make airborne.
Little
Weren't you
things
taking
like-
I
airborne?
just took some the other
I
day.
wonder-
like Tic Tacs.
You have to wonder, like preschool teachers, do they lick the doorknob once a day just to build their immune system to the
No,
point?
I think they get it for free when kids like do the really gross thing of like you're about to open your mouth and say something and somebody
Yes.
sneezes or coughs in it.
Yes, for that age, absolutely. They're just constantly
Yeah.
taking in
Yeah.
all kinds
Yep.
of things.
I know preschool teachers always say that they're always sick and like because they get everything, but also like you're surviving so much better than I would.
absolutely.
So
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Yeah. I did make that first Sunday. I was there. I was working with our men's group. Or
Oh,
making
nice.
box, or
That's
not
right.
making boxes.
You were weighing
boxes.
we were weighing boxes. Yep.
So
Got a lot done.
You
that
were
way
part of the. Oh gosh, what's it called? Part of the warehouse crew.
Yep.
Is that what?
Yep. Yep.
Now you've done both, right? Like you've been on the floor and you've worked behind the scenes. Is there a job that you prefer when doing Feed My Starving Children?
Usually, I do I put the bags in the box.
You pack the boxes.
That's my gig.
Yep. So you're an expert.
Just stand back.
You're an expert at counting to 36.
Yep.
Yeah, very nice.
Well, I pile them all up. I need the
Can't do it.
numbers.
I don't like it.
I need the
I've
numbers.
done it once now. Don't like it.
You don't really?
My whole like ADHD anxiety thing is like, wait, how many was that? Wait, how many was that? Okay, I know that there's two on every spot, but are we sure?
Oh,
You
I'm
also though didn't have the when you were doing the boxes. I'm trying to think of what time it was when we were. It was our
when
very
it was
first
that-
shift.
It was when it was that we were the only table in blue.
Yep. And you also had the like whoosh, like so many bags coming at you.
It was one of the
Yeah.
Dorothy tables.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
so they need a little bit of context here. We're actually sitting with the champs.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
They broke every
we
record.
hold the record, man.
the 85 boxes
Yeah.
or whatever?
86.
Oh,
They were-
86
boxes.
They were in that whirlwind.
Okay. So when I pack boxes, people are like, what's wrong with this guy? Because if it's not 2 bags on each number, you keep it away from here.
Yeah,
I'll take care of it.
yeah,
Just stand back.
that's right.
So
Give me room to work.
all of a sudden somebody puts a 3rd bag. Hey! Why don't you go toss soy? or
Yeah, that's
something?
right. That's right. That was actually working with, God bless her, because she runs at a different, she's built different and runs at a different pace than the rest of us. That was Miss Dorothy.
Oh, yeah.
If you couldn't
if
cut
you
it,
if you don't cut it, she will kick you
Oh, yeah.
from that
You're
table,
done.
man.
I
You're
did
done.
a
Go.
draft of like, okay, who's your dream packing team?
I had a whole dream about this too.
I will scoop rice and soy
Yep.
with Dorothy Green.
Yep.
And it works out perfectly because then she only wants 1 bagger. She doesn't need 2. So
Right.
I can
If you
stand,
have Dorothy Green, you only need 1 bagger. You don't need 2 because she is
which
She's
actually
faster
works
by
out.
herself. 2 in 1.
Yes, and it works out well because then who is ever doing soy and rice can stand on the inside of the like nook of the tables so you don't spill as much, and then they can refill you faster too.
yeah.
oh, because then you don't have to get out of their way.
Yeah. But we like set it up of like,
Oh yeah,
what
there's
was
a
our,
whole
like-
roster.
yeah, and very nicely and very kindly. I'm so sorry, Don Groth. It does not get to be on the scene.
Yeah, unfortunately,
He can be
Dorothy
working in
Green
the
already
warehouse.
cut him from that team.
He got cut from the floor.
He couldn't keep. I started sealing, and that was a hard job. So
Sealing is the worst job.
yeah,
Like
Unless you're great. Grace Okeson can keep up and she kills it.
You have to be a certain height.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
You have to be a certain height for the ceiling. Otherwise, your back is screaming at you or whatever.
And then you have to get into the right rhythm of hitting it just right,
Yep.
so that it does
And for the
seal
same
it's
amount of
not-
time.
And if you have one that's not aligned properly, then you got to make sure that you move it to get it where it needs to be. Ceiling is not my thing.
I didn't.
I don't think I've ever sealed. No, I have.
I will say
for
that
about 2
I
minutes.
had thought the same thing about sealing. In fact, in the last shift, I moved around, but we were filling up so fast that the sealers couldn't keep up with us.
Yeah.
So I got to call for Chris from FMSC. I said, "Give me Chris." And he comes running over. I said, "Take all these. We need another sealer. Go seal them somewhere else because we're running out of room."
Yep.
Well, a little bit. And so I thought that was the issue, but then I ended up partnering up with the sealer a little bit later. And I channeled my inner Dorothy, and I was taking 2 at a time and passing them to the person whose entire job was just to hold it tight and put it there. And then I was sealing it. So I was
Okay.
doing this whole thing, and we were able to keep up from that point on. And you know, not to brag, but you're welcome. I helped us get to 1 million because of
Sweet.
how fast we were going.
You know what I
How
will?
many is on a pallet? 36?
36,
Yeah.
yep.
You know, we weren't keeping track. I know these guys
Okay.
did 85 boxes.
86 boxes.
86 boxes. We weren't keeping track, so I'm not saying that we beat them. I'm pretty sure we did.
You
but
were
I
going
didn't
to
keep
You
track.
really want to go to Dorothy Green and be
Hold
like,
on.
I think I beat your record.
Sounds like you guys were going too fast
Two
to count.
Yeah,
things
it was
on
too
this.
fast. It was too fast.
DJ, I'm going to call you out on that because you said that as Dana and I were going when we got back during that last shift, we went down to get some videos and pictures.
Yeah.
And you said, yeah, I'm pretty sure we've surpassed 90. And your son, God bless him,
Oh,
he
yeah,
had the
that's
honesty.
right.
He goes, no, we haven't.
He's failing math.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yep.
just throwing everybody under the bus.
He really was.
He thought
forgot all about
he thought
that.
I said 19.
He's
Sure
failing
he
math.
Sure.
That's awesome.
That's right. He was like, no,
No, we
haven't.
didn't.
You know what I
Never
will
heard
say?
him count. It's like 1, 4, 36, 25.
Like a third grader?
He's a fourth grader.
Fourth grader.
You know what I will say about sealing though? If you ever go to a permanent site, that's the job
That's
to
the
have.
good
Oh,
sealer.
yeah.
That's the job to have.
That's how Dorothy knows how to do all that stuff.
Yeah.
She's trained with the masters. Like
Okay.
she's been to the mountaintop and learned all the skills.
That's funny.
So she was fun to have around.
It's also really funny when you're going that fast of like, it got to a point where they're like, we need to get you guys your own runners.
Yeah.
Because
It's
they're
also
basically just coming back here and stopping.
So-
They don't
and it's
get any
also like a
farther.
level of magic though to see like I looked over at one point because the previous day I was on the side of the table with the hospitality ladies
Yeah.
weighing, so I had 2 scales going and like was pulling and bagging, and we didn't quite get to the rhythm, but during that last day we got to the rhythm during that shift where like a bag would fill and it just went through the line. There was no waiting
It never
process
really,
at
like,
all,
touched
and I'm
the-
like, that is so cool.
I've
So-
also never gone through a whole box of vitamins, and yet I did. I went through a box
Yeah.
and a half of vitamins
that
on
was
my own.
we did that the last day too. I will say I got to be a runner for your guys group the time before. So you were the only ones.
oh, when we were in blue.
You were in blue. You were the only ones over there, and I got asked to run, and I would fill up a bucket and bring it to you, and it was already time to refill you. Like it was
that was when I was
fast.
boxing, and it was they switched out who was doing the boxes for us. And basically, when she switched out, she was like, "Okay, what you're gonna do is you're gonna take their full box, go weigh it, and do all of the like fill out the form and everything, and stick it on a pallet, and then come right back because it'll be done by
Yeah.
the time you get back."
It was, and me and Debbie's husband Bruce were both running.
Yep.
And
2 runners and 1 for boxes, and that was the
I
whole
was
station.
I was totally amazed that because it wasn't that far. If I walked, if I would have run, I may have caught you guys by like half a second. But by the time I came back, every time after really filling the bucket, you're like, "Give me more, okay? Here I go."
Yep.
Anyway, so what was something that you'll never forget about your experience this time around with FMSC? Do you have like a memory or a moment that you're like, I'm never gonna forget that. That's gonna stay with me for a long time.
Thanks for joining us for that podcast. Don't forget, you can find all of our services online every Sunday morning at 9 a.m. for a tradition service or 10:30 a.m. for a modern service. You'll find them at atonement.live, atonementfargo.org, or on YouTube, where you can also find all of our library of content. So thank you again for joining us, and we'll see you next time on another riveting episode of That Podcast.